Hello there and welcome to another tier list video. This is going to be ranking lightsaber duels throughout a couple of the animated ones and from all of the films. So without further ado, Luke versus Vader in The Empire Strikes Back. One of the most iconic. Luke loses his hand, I am your father, but Luke isn't very good, so the actual choreography of the fight isn't the best, but it's definitely going in A. Very, very iconic. Anakin and ObiWan versus Dooku. I think this fight gets a lot better once ObiWan is knocked out, sadly, because I feel like the way they performed the 2 versus 1 isn't as good as certain other 2v1 fights, such as Duel of the Fates here, but for me, it still goes in C. Now, Luke versus Kylo, when Luke is doing his force projection. This fight is very aesthetically pleasing. I think it's really cool how Luke, even though he's not even there, is still mugging off Kylo, like when he bends over and Kylo goes for the swing. So it's going in C, but below Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. Now, for me, I'm going to be honest, my favourite fight in all of Star Wars, Luke versus Vader in Return of the Jedi. Luke comes so different to how he was in The Empire Strikes Back, and he actually beats Vader, but then he doesn't want to kill him at the end. Nearly as iconic as the Empire Strikes Back fight, but the dialogue in The Empire Strikes Back makes it a level above in terms of how iconic it is, but I feel like the actual fight here is much better. Duel of the Fates. Wow, this was performed so well. I absolutely love this fight. It makes the Phantom Menace so much better, and yeah, nothing more to be said, it's going in S. Now, Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon number 1. The camera, angling, zooming, etc., wasn't the best, but this was still pretty decent, I'd say. It would potentially be a B, I'd say, if they had it zoomed out a little bit more and you could see more of the actual fight. But for me, right now, it's going in D. Now, Ahsoka versus Vader. I think this is definitely worse than Vader versus Luke in The Empire Strikes Back. Not in terms of the actual fight, their ability is much better, but in terms of how much I prefer it, it's above these, so I'm tempted to put it high C, but I'm going to put it as the first B. Rey versus Kylo. I think it's an underrated fight because people don't realise how injured Kylo actually is from Chewie's bowcaster. However, I think I'm going to put it in D, but above Qui-Gon versus Maul. Now, Finn versus Kylo I actually prefer, because you can see Kylo as toying with Finn, as when he knocks him down once, he walks away rather than finishing him. And once Finn actually lands a shot on Kylo, Kylo has enough and absolutely destroys him. So I actually quite like this one, and I'm going to put it in the C somewhere, but I'm not sure where. I think I'll put it here. I think that's alright. Now, one of the quicker fights in Star Wars, Obi-Wan versus Maul in Rebels, however, it's the moments before the fight, the dialogue, their stance, that makes it absolutely incredible, and it's going in A for me. I absolutely love it. Obi-Wan versus Grievous. Now, it's one of the better Revenge of the Sith fights, I would have to say, and I don't think it needs much more explanation. A droid or a cyborg with 4 arms and a lightsaber in each versus our guy Kenobi, absolute legend, one of my favourite characters. Yeah, it goes in B. Now, this is Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku in Attack of the Clones. Now, this fight has many parts. Obviously, Anakin rushes in, zapped, he's out. Obi-Wan then fights Dooku 1v1. Anakin comes in and saves him after Obi-Wan loses, and then Anakin dual wields against him. And yeah, it's okay. I feel like the camera angling and zooming for Dooku versus Anakin when Obi-Wan is knocked out is pretty bad, but there's quite a lot of fighting actually happening, so that helps out a lot. And I would actually put it in C here, because I actually think it's pretty good. Obi-Wan versus Dooku part especially, and the initial part of Anakin versus Dooku when he has the 2 lightsabers. Anakin does kind of stand still when he gets his arm chopped off, but other than that, it's pretty good. Now, Palpatine versus Windu, absolutely incredible in terms of a matchup, very evenly matched, especially with Windu's Vapad. However, I think this fight is overrated by a lot of people. I think that the way that they swing their sabers is a little bit weird. Sometimes Palpatine's side flip is a little weird. But, however, it's still very, very good, and I'd put it just below Obi-Wan versus General Grievous. Now, Vader versus Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Now, I know how iconic a fight is has pushed up some of these other fights, such as Luke versus Vader and Empire Strikes Back, but I don't care. I'm sorry. This is rubbish. I hope that they eventually remake these films again, like with the way they did it originally. They just slightly improved the quality, like the picture and stuff. And I hope they redo this fight, not like the reimagined fight on YouTube, but just a little bit different, just so it looks more like two people that know how to use a lightsaber are fighting. But yeah, not a fan. But it's a very good film, A New Hope, and that is a very important moment of it. Now, Yoda versus Dooku. I'm not sure what to think about this one, if I'm being honest. It's very well done, very great matchup. Yoda's old apprentice. It's definitely better than Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku. I'm going to put it at the top of B. That's what I'll do, the top of B. Yeah, I really like that. Kanan and Ezra versus Vader. Now, this is a pretty cool fight. We really see how strong Vader actually is. And I guess you could say how weak Kanan and Ezra are. Obviously, Ezra's not going to be very strong because he's hardly trained by someone who wasn't fully trained, and he's only young anyway. But this is incredible from Vader, where they collapse the thing on him, and then he just gets up. They have to run away. I think this is pretty cool. I'm going to put it right here, above Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. Now, Battle of the Heroes. What a fantastic fight. It is nearly absolutely perfect. Like, it is the closest fight to absolute perfection, in my opinion. Well, actually, maybe not. In terms of like the actual fighting, I'd say Duel of the Fates is closer. I'd say that's literally perfection. It's not as iconic as any Luke versus Vader fight, I'd say, but it's still incredible, and it is going the bottom of S tier. Now, Yoda versus Palpatine. If I'm being honest, I wish we saw more lightsaber versus lightsaber action before they went into like the Senate arena, and then Palpatine obviously got the better of him, because I think Yoda definitely would have beat him if they didn't go in there, and I'd like to see Yoda dominate him a little bit more before Palpatine left. But with that being said, it's going A, and it's going to go at the bottom of A. So that is looking like a complete tier list. Do I want to move anything around? We'll move that up to E, just so nothing's enough, because none of them are absolutely terrible. I'm having a little look now. S, I'm pretty happy. A, I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do that. Now B, yeah, pretty happy with that. C, I think that's fine. D is fine, and yeah, okay, that is my tier list. Let me know if you'd have any different rankings of these fights. And yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. I don't know when this is going out. If this is going out after I've reached 1,000, then thanks. If not, then please get me to 1,000, because I really want to get there. But yeah, hopefully we're at 1,000 by now. So thanks so much for the support. It's shocking to me, to be honest. But yeah, in a bit.